Hey kids, it's me, Teacher A. So this is a pahabol na video on weeks 3 and 4 of your module. Someone requested for this video, so here it is. Are you ready? Okay, let's start. So this is the question. When two chords of a circle are parallel, are the arcs they intercept congruent? And then, how about the arcs they cut off? Okay, so I'm going to explain the answer in this video. Before we answer the question, let's recall a theorem. Okay, you can find this theorem on page 15 of your module. Okay, the theorem goes like this. In a circle or in congruent circles, two minor arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding chords are congruent. Okay? So, let me explain that theorem. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin ng theorem na yon, for example, you have one circle. Dito muna tayo mag-focus sa circle na ito. Okay? Sabi dito, sabi sa theorem, kapag daw yung minor arcs ninyo, two minor arcs, so where are those minor arcs here? Eto. Yan. And this one. Okay? Kapag yung two minor arcs are congruent, so that means they have the same measure. Okay? So this is what we do in geometry para masabi natin na congruent itong dalawang ito. Okay? Sabi sa theorem, kapag itong two minor arcs are congruent, yung chords na nag-i-intercept sa kanila ay congruent din. So, nasan yung chords na yon? This one. Okay? Tapos, ito. Okay? Congruent din daw ito. Alright? Okay, so meaning ng congruent, pareho yung haba nila. Okay? Okay, isa pa. Kunyari, ito din yung circle. You have two chords. Okay? Pwede naman baligtad yung ibig sabihin ng theorem. Yung chords naman muna ang alam ninyo na congruent. So, ito, they have the same length. Okay? And then, yung ini-intercept nilang minor arcs, nasan yun? This one. Okay? Tsaka ito. Okay? Again, kapag congruent yung chords, okay, ibig sabihin magkasing haba, yung ini-intercept nilang arc are also congruent. Okay? So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng theorem na yon. Okay? Isa pa. Okay, more on that theorem. Okay, let's have congruent circles here. Okay, kapag congruent ang circles, ayan, magkasing laki sila. So, sabi, kapag meron kayong congruent circles, tapos meron kayong two congruent minor arcs. So, let's say, ito yung minor arcs. So, dalawang circles na ang pinag-uusapan natin dito. Congruent circles. Okay, these two minor arcs are congruent. So, again, lagyan natin ng ganyan. Okay? Okay. And then we say, we can conclude that yung chord na nag-i-intercept dyan sa mga minor arcs na yan are also congruent. Okay? Okay. So, done with that theorem. Ngayon, let's go back to the question. Sabi, when two chords of a circle are parallel, what can you say about the arcs they intercept? Okay? Are they congruent? Okay, let me give you some examples. Okay, so I have here several examples of parallel chords. Okay, let's have this first example. Okay, let's check the arcs, the minor arcs. Okay, tingnan nyo to. Ito yung isang arc na ini-intercept nito, chord na to. And then the other arc is this one. Yeah? Okay? So, you have two parallel chords here. And obviously, they don't measure the same. Okay? Hindi sila pareho ng length. Okay? So, according to the theorem, sabi doon, same lang yung, or congruent yung arc na may i-intercept nila kung congruent yung chords. But here, we don't have congruent chords. So it follows that yung kanilang intercepted arcs are not congruent. Okay? So very obvious naman dito. So it can be an explanation. Okay? Supported by the theorem kanina. Kasi again, magkakaroon lang ng congruent arcs. Yeah? Magkakaroon ng congruent arcs kung congruent ang chords. Okay? Other than that, if the chords are not congruent, they will not have congruent intercepted arcs. Okay? Parang dito, sa second example, ba? You see parallel chords? Here. Diba? Pag parallel, equal yung distance sa kahit saang point dito. Alright? So, they are parallel chords. And again, obviously, they don't have the same length. Right? So, that's why their intercepted arcs are not congruent. Nasaan ba yung intercepted arcs nila? Let me show you. Okay? Etong chord na to, okay, let me color it pink. Ang intercepted arc niyan is this one. Yeah? Okay, do you see it? Color pink. Okay? What about the other chord? Where is its intercepted arc? So, let me color it orange. Okay, that's our second chord. Nasaan ang intercepted arc niya? Actually, pwede naman ito. Okay? Pero minor arcs na lang ang i-consider natin. So, nasaan yung minor arc intercepted by this chord? Ito siya. So, do you see it? It's longer than the pink arc. So, they are not congruent. Okay? And then, you may want to consider this third figure. This is the diameter. Diba? The diameter is the longest chord. Okay? Tapos, nag-draw ako ng parallel chord sa kanya. Okay? And then, if you check their intercepted arc, itong diameter, ang ini-intercept niya is a semi-circle. Okay? Half ng circle. Okay? What about the second chord? Okay? This is the second chord. Nasaan ang ini-intercept niya? Okay, let's consider the minor arc here. See? It's smaller than the semicircle or the arc intercepted by the diameter. So, they are not congruent. So, the answer to the question, when two chords of a circle are parallel, are the arcs they intercept congruent? It's clearly no. Okay? Pwedeng ito na yung explanation ninyo and then you may want to write the theorem na congruent lang ang mga intercepted arcs if and only if congruent ang chords na nag-i-intercept sa kanila. Alright? Okay. Let's move on to the second question. Okay, so there's another question. When two chords of a circle are parallel, okay, so kita nyo naman, we have parallel chords here. Okay, are the arcs they cut off congruent? Ang tanong, nasan yung arcs na kinat nila? Okay, so let me color them. So ito yung unang arc na kinat nung parallel chords. And this is the second arc. Okay? So the question is, congruent daw ba etong dalawang ito? So it means, do they have the same measure? So I'm going to prove this using the two-column approach. Yun yung my statements and then my reasons. Alright? But before we do that, ikukwento ko muna sa inyo kung anong mangyayari. Okay? Kung paano natin ipoprove na yes, these two arcs are congruent. Okay? So, ganito yon. Let us draw a secant line. Okay? Passing through points A and T. Ito yon. Okay? So, magdodraw tayo ng secant line. Okay? That. Like that. Okay? Now, do you see the two angles? Two inscribed angles. Those are angle MAT. So, this angle. Okay? And the angle ATH. So, this angle. Okay? So, if you recall, how do we get the measure of an inscribed angle? Okay? So, let us see nga. The measure of angle MAT, this one is equal to what? Kalahati ng measure of its intercepted arc. Asan yung intercepted arc ng angle na ito? This one. Right? The arc MT. Okay? Ganon din dun sa second angle natin. The measure of angle ATH. So, let me write. Measure of angle ATH. This is equal to 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. Nasaan ang intercepted arc ng angle na ito? This one. Right? So, this is arc AH. Okay? So, ang ipinuprove natin, congruent yung dalawang arcs na ito. Or, they have the same measure. Okay? Okay. Ngayon, so, we have this already. Meron pa akong ipapa-recall sa inyo. You recall, when you have two parallel lines, like that, and these two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Ito yung transversal. Okay? Tapos, yung mga angles sa loob, ang tawag doon, interior angles. Ito, kunyari, this one, interior angle ito. Okay? Tapos, this one is also an interior angle. Okay? And, kapag alternate nyo siya makikita doon sa transversal, based on the alternate interior angles theorem, ayan yun, alternate interior angles theorem, these two angles are congruent. So, okay? Pareho ang measure nila. Okay, so I'm going to apply the alternate interior angles theorem to our figure here. Okay? I-extend lang natin tong chord. Okay? Para mas madali nyong makita. So, extend. And then, extend natin siya. Okay? Tapos, this secant line that we drew kanina, okay, parang ito yung transversal. Okay, now, tingnan nyo dito. Okay? And then, this one. Kita nyo, what can you say about these two angles? They are alternate interior angles, right? Kasi kung ito yung transversal, ito nasa left, tapos ito nasa right. Tapos pareho silang interior angles. Okay? Kasi ito yung dalawang parallel lines. So, by the alternate interior angles theorem, this angle is congruent to this angle. Right? So, let me write here, beside the alternate interior angles theorem, that the measure of angle MAT, this one, is equal to the measure of angle ATH. Diba? Equal yon. Okay? And then, from kanina, saan equal ang measure ng angle MAT? Eto. Right? 1/2. Okay? Measure of arc MT. Okay? And this is equal to, saan naman equal ang measure ni angle ATH? Ito. Equal siya dito. So, let me write. 1/2 measure of arc AH. So, you see, ika-cancel nyo lang yung 1/2, you're done. Okay? The measure of arc MT, right, is equal to the measure of arc AH. Okay? So, that's the end of the story. Okay? So, let me write a formal proof of that statement. So, how are you so far? Nakakasunod ba kayo? Okay? So, if you want to see more videos like this, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You may want to share this video to your friends also. Okay? Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is the two-column approach for the statement when two chords of a circle are parallel, then the arcs they cut off are congruent. Okay? Okay. Of course, ang pinakauna na naman natin dyan ay given. The line segment MA or the chord MA is parallel to this chord TH. Okay? It's given. Okay? And then, the next thing we do is we draw a secant line passing through points 80. Okay? So, that's our second statement. Here. Okay? So, we draw a secant line passing through points 80. Alright? And then, after that, we have this. Okay? Nakita natin kanina na we have two inscribed angles. Okay? Ito siya. Okay? This angle MAT here and the angle ATH. ATH. Okay? Tapos, they are inscribed angles. And then after that, measure ng inscribed angles. Half the measure of the intercepted arc. Okay? So, that's why we have this fourth statement. Okay? So, parang sinusulat ko lang talaga yung story ko kanina about the proof nung dalawang arcs na kinakat ng two parallel chords. So, what's going to be the next statement? This one. Okay? Yung two inscribed angles are congruent. Okay? Justified by the alternate interior angles theorem. Okay? Hindi ko na-explain kasi in-explain ko na kanina. Alright? Okay. And then, if two angles are congruent, of course, they measure the same. That's why this is our sixth statement. Okay? Their measures are equal because congruent angles have equal measures. Okay? Tapos substitution na. We use statements 6 and 4. Okay? Ginawa rin natin kanina. At ito yon. So, by substitution, using statements 4 and 6, we have this. Okay? And then, to remove this 1/2, okay, we multiply both sides by 2. Okay? So, that's why we have this statement number 8. Okay? Justified by multiplication property of equality. Alright? Okay. And then, finally, kapag yung two arcs, pareho yung measure, you say arc MT and arc AH. Nasaan nga ulit yun? Here. Okay. Arc MT and arc AH, they have equal measures. So you say these two arcs are congruent. And that's going to be our last statement here. Okay? Arc MT is congruent to arc AH. The reason? Congruent arcs have equal measures. Okay, that's it. That's how we prove that parallel chords in the same circle always cut congruent arcs. Okay, let's answer more questions. Okay, so this is the next question. How do you determine the measure of the angle formed by the intersection of two chords? Okay, many of you, ganito ang maiisip, right? Okay, two chords that intersect inside the circle. Okay? And then all you have to do is to recall the formula. Okay? So for example, we want to measure this angle. Okay? Again, this angle is equal to, or the measure of this angle is equal to the measure of this angle here. Okay? Or you may want to find the measure of this angle. Okay? Kahit alin dyan. Okay? Isang formula lang naman ang gagamitin. Okay? So, let's say we want to get the measure of this angle. So, I write here, the measure of angle CED, okay, is equal to 1/2 of the measure of arc CD here plus the measure of arc AB. Okay? Ganun lang. So that's how you get the measure of the angle formed by two intersecting chords. In words, you say, if two chords intersect within a circle, so sa loob ng circle, okay, then the measure of the angle formed is equal to half the sum of the measures of the intercepted arcs. Now, this is not the only case. Hindi lang ito ang itsura when two chords intersect. Because two chords may also intersect on the circle, not only within a circle. Okay? What do I mean by that? This one. Right? You have two chords here. First chord, second chord, and they intersect on the circle. Okay? And what do you notice? When two chords intersect on the circle, an inscribed angle is formed. Okay? And how do we get the measure of an inscribed angle? Let me write here, the measure of angle BAC is equal to what? 1/2 of the measure of the intercepted arc. So here. Okay? So arc BC. Okay? So, hindi lang ito. Okay? Pwede rin ito. Okay? So, you have two answers to that question. Okay? Two cases. When two chords intersect within a circle and when two chords intersect on the circle. So, this is the last question. How do you determine the measure of the angle formed by the two secant segments intersecting at the point in the exterior of the circle? So, before you answer that question, dapat ma-draw nyo siya. Okay? At ganito ang isa sa magiging itsura nun. Okay? You have two secant segments. So, ibig sabihin may endpoint. Ayan o. Okay? Tapos, secant siya because it touches the circle at exactly 2 points. 1, 2. This is the other secant segment. Okay? And these two secant segments intersect at the point in the exterior of the circle. Sa labas sila nag-intersect. Okay? The question is, how do you get the measure of this angle? Okay? What is the formula? All you have to do is to recall the formula. The measure of angle DAE, okay? Or pwede ring BAC. Alright? Okay, so DAE Okay? So, let me write. Pwede ring measure of angle BAC. BAC. Or simply, pwede ring angle A. Eto. Okay, angle A. It's equal to what? 1/2, okay, times the difference of the intercepted arcs. Okay? Asan yung mga intercepted arcs? Here and this one. Okay? You start with the bigger arc. Okay? So, measure of arc, DE, minus the measure of arc, BC. Okay? So, that's how you get the measure of the angle formed by the two secant segments intersecting at the point outside the circle. Okay, so I think that's it. I hope you learned something from this video. Okay, you may send in your requests in the comment section below. Okay, please don't forget to like and share this video. And also, please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.